Hello, everybody. This is Black on Black Crime with Art McCoy. Let me take you back to the time when radio was king. Radio was all we had. We didn't even have TV. Let me take you back to the days when life was much more simpler. Life was much more purer. When radio was our only entertainment, educators and romancers. Let me take you back. I know today you can listen to me on your cell phone, iPod, BlackBerry computer. You can even text me or Twitter me. But tonight, if you can put them away and let's go back to the good old days of yesterday, when all we had to do was gather around the radio on Sunday night and listen to our favorite program on the radio. Come closer. Feel the warmth of your radio. Come closer. Don't be afraid. It won't bite you. It'll warm you up. Touch the warm dial of that radio. No one's interested. Let me take you back to the good old days. Let's go back.
No truth.
Let's go back.
No justice.
Let's go back.
No peace.
Oh, let's go back.
This is Black on Black Crime with Art McCoy.
This show is coming to you straight from the hood, and we are keeping it real.
On News Radio WTAM 1100.
Hello, everybody. This is Black on Black Crime with Art McCoy. We have a real hot show today for you. And what I want to do, I want my telephones to connect. I want you to call me at 216-578-1100, 216-578-1111, or toll free 888-723-WTAM radio. And remember, don't be afraid to call me toll free, because if you're in Mississippi, Georgia, California, Atlanta, if you're in Nebraska, wherever you might be, New York City, Mississippi, New England, call me. You know why you can call me? Because my program director, Ray Davis, he has a boat that when he puts it in Lake Erie, they call it a ship, and it's only a boat. That's how big it is. So we got plenty of money. So my program director got plenty of money. So call me toll free, 888-723-WTAM Radio 1100. We're going to go straight to the phone lines right now to, in my opinion, I know you all different, but in my opinion, the greatest football coach in the whole wide world. And you know, the world is big. Now, I'm not just talking about Cleveland, Ohio. I'm talking about the whole wide world. I just don't think there's no greater football coach than Coach Ginn right there at Ginn Academy. And I'll tell you something. Before I bring him on, let me tell you something. You know, Carmen Angelo, the second greatest newsman in this station in the whole wide world, he's been beating me. We started out when Glenville played Ignatius before, and he beat me, and he was smiling, and I knew I was setting him up, because I know I've been running, doing a little exercise at Patrick Henry track, and I remember when the football season started, and I saw the way Coach Ginn had his boys, his men together, and I knew this was going to be a great season. And Coach Ginn is modest, but right now, Coach Ginn, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How you doing?
Fine, sir. How you doing? What a great victory you had last night.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
What turned it around so much on that second time around?
Well, as the year goes on, you get better as you go.
Yes.
We was pretty young at the beginning of the
Coach,
season.
you got your radio up.
Yeah.
Cut it down. Cut your radio down.
We was pretty young at the beginning of the season.
Yes.
And we just matured.
Yes.
And played fundamentally sound and came out with a victory.
You came out with a big victory. Last time it was close. You all had that game won, but you kind of lost it in the cracks in the end. But this time there was no doubt about it, eh, Coach?
Right. Like I said, over a few weeks you'll mature, and you'll learn not to lose the game. You know how to close them out. And the kids did a pretty good job last night.
Yes, I know you got to be exhausted and everything. Coach, you are a busy man. Boy, how do you do it?
I don't know. I just keep trusting in the Lord to give me strength to keep on keeping on, and He give me that, and I just keep working every day.
Yeah. So Coach, where does your team go from here?
Well, we play for the regional championship on Saturday night. I'm not sure exactly where, but I assume it'll be at Byers Field in Palmer.
Do you know who you're playing?
Yeah, Solon.
Solon is unbeaten, right?
Yes, they're undefeated.
All right, and you've lost one game.
Yes.
Well, you ready for that undefeated team?
Well, we got to show up, this weekend. We gonna get ready this week to see can we go and keep the train rolling.
Yes. And so when is the game, Coach?
Saturday night.
Saturday night. At what time?
7.
All right, Saturday night at 7. I got to be there, Coach. That's the big one there. This one last week was the big one, but this is really the big one. And I think you all got the momentum to beat Solon. I really think you do.
Yeah, well, we got a chance, We just got to, stay, polished up and stay fundamental sound, and we got a chance.
Yes, I hear what you're saying, Coach. You're always so humble and so modest, Coach. The greatest coach in the whole wide world. Listen, Coach. Also, how's your son's career going this year in Miami?
Oh, he's hanging in there. They took a couple bumps on over the year, but they coming around. They won today, and he's still working. Yes.
And he's progressing right along too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's coming along.
Yes, sir. Now, Coach, also, what's going on at Ginn Academy?
Well, we got the doors open every day, and we're trying to educate the young men and trying to give them a way of life, and that's what we're doing every day there. So things are going on well there.
So, Coach, now, the reason I like to talk to you is because I don't only see you on the football field, and I don't only see you at your school, but I also see you out in the trenches. So you like I said, I don't see how you do it, because you're training men to be football players and then training them to be men also. You got your own family that you're working hard with, and then you come out in the trenches and be with us. So you're just a well-rounded person in the community, Coach Ginn. That's why I like to talk to you.
Right. Well, we all trying to make a difference in this world, so I try to put myself in a position that I can be a change agent, in this world. And you got to be in all these different areas. You're out there fighting every day and trying to help our young people and trying to stop the madness, and I'm out there right along with you. And, it's just when that's your purpose and your calling, it's not a job to you. It's just what you do every day. So
Coach, now, this young man got killed, from John Hay. Got killed on Lakeshore. I know that was very painful to you, wasn't it?
Oh, no question. Because we got to stop. We got to stop this. I was just talking to Harris the other day. I'm gonna try to get some of the kids to get out here, and we just gonna call for peace. We got to stop all this madness. And we all got to stand up together.
Yes.
And get it done.
Yes.
We losing our kids.
Yes.
And that's not no joke. That's real life. And it's painful to see that, because the understanding is not there.
Yes. Yes.
And we got to get out and try to change their mind.
Yes, I understand. So, Coach Ginn, whatever you get together, whatever you get together with the young men, just let me know through Mr. Harris, and I'd love to be a part of it, because I know that working with a great coach, a great human being, and a great man like you, and a great father like you, we're going to make a difference. And so I just appreciate talking to you. Look, I know that you're the most business man in the state of Ohio, but you take time out to come on the radio station to talk to Black on Black Crime with Art McCoy, and I just want you to know I appreciate it. And Carmen Angelo was supposed to been on the phone with us, but he had a death in his family, so he couldn't make it right now. So I'm not going to rub him that hard, but I will say to you, Coach, what a great victory. What a great victory, and congratulations.
Thank you, Art.
You're welcome, sir, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let that play, son. You know, I was talking the other day to my radio dad, Mike Trevisano, and he was telling me, say, hey, man, feel like I got a few problems here. I said, I listened to him. Now, Mike live out there in Lynn Harrison, that gated community. Mike is rich, drives them Rolls Royces to work and all that kind of stuff. Oh, he got it going on. Money! Woo! But you know what I told him? I said, listen, Mike, it sounds like even though you got all these things, I said, Trevisano, Triv, I said, to me, it still sounds like you got the blues. Oh, turn it up! You got the blues, Mike. I don't care if you live in Lyndhurst or Pepper Pike. When you got these problems, ain't but one thing you can call it. The blues! You got the blues! Lord have mercy. You can call me at 216-578-1100. 216-578-1111. Listen, Mike. Listen, Mike Trevisano. What? Might still come your way. Even in Lyndhurst. Even in Shaker. What happened? Oh! And over again. Oh! Cut it off, boy. I'm going to get happy in a minute. Listen, let me tell you a story. My lines are filled up. I got to talk to these people. This is their day. But let me tell you a story real quick. I don't have no slick producer that's feeding me stuff, and I'm in a gated community up on the hill. I'm right in the hood. I'm right in the heart of the city. So what happens. And let me tell you, Wednesday night, my sister got a restaurant. I Have a Dream restaurant right there on Alcoa and Euclid, and right in the hood, right on Euclid. And good restaurant, good food. But the point I'm trying to make is Wednesday night, the police called me, the 5th District Police called me. Mr. McCoy? I say, yeah. Say, are you affiliated with this restaurant up on Alcoa and Euclid? I said, yes, sir. It's my sister's. I'm manager for. He said, well, you need to get up here right now because it seemed like there's been an accident up here, and you need to get up here. So I said, okay. I told my friend, I said, well, I got to go up to the store because called my sister. I got to go to the store. They said an accident happened up there. Somebody crashed into the building. I was saying as I went up there, I said, wow, I hope they ain't crashed into that restaurant. And when I got up there on Euclid, and there the police was out front flashing his light. And boy, I looked at the side of that building, and this car done crashed into this building and tore the whole front side windows out, and the brick and the concrete too. I mean, just one mass hole, knocked tables all across to somewhere else, the coolers, everything. Oh, it was a mess. Glass everywhere in the street. And the police told me this. They said that, listen, Art, a good Samaritan called us, and he said that he saw this woman crash through this glass, through this storefront, and miraculously, after she crashed all the way in there, she backed out with glass and debris, and the car really, really tore up, and she drove on down the street down Euclid. And he says the Good Samaritan followed her, and while he was following her, he called the police department. Hey, police, I'm following this car that just ran into this building. First, the Good Samaritan called East Cleveland, but it wasn't in East Cleveland. It was right down the line. It was in Cleveland. So he had to say, no, this ain't East Cleveland. Said, call Cleveland. So while he calling Cleveland and following this woman in this car that just crashed, he got down further on Euclid, and she turned somewhere, and he lost her for a moment. So he had to go on down. So he was on his way to work, this Good Samaritan. So he had to go on to work and punch in. And so me and the police didn't know who the Good Samaritan was, nothing about him. All we knew that someone had called in about this incident. So later on that evening, as I called the twins out and Alvin out there boarding up and we cleaning, it's a mess. It was a mess, I want to tell you. It'll make your head swim. So, but about 4 o'clock, Alvin is boarding it up, and we are out there, and all of a sudden this white gentleman, this white suburbanite, came into the store, stepped over the glass and everything. He said, hey, I'm the man that saw the accident, and I'm the man that called the police, and I followed her, but I had lost her. But here's what happened. I said, hello, I'm Art. He said, yeah, I listen to you sometime on WTAM, now that I see you. He said, I followed the lady and I lost her, but when I got off of work, I went back on the street where I lost her at, and I did a little searching, and I found the car in a driveway. He had back in a driveway, all tore up, glass still on it, and here's the license plate. And also, here's the license plate, and here's the address where the car is. Do you know that Good Samaritan came back, Good Suburbanite came back and gave me all this information? I was able to relay this information to the police department. They went out there, found the car, said, Mr. McCoy, we found the car, and thanks to that Good Samaritan and that good information, this case was solved. So what I'm saying to you tonight is I don't want nobody, to talk about my suburbanites tonight, because this Good Suburbanite went beyond the call of duty and took care of his business. And I'll tell you right now, Mike Buzzard, Buzzard, man, if you're anywhere listening, I wish you'd call me, man, because I want to give you all the accolades in the world, because that's what good citizenship is all about. If more people in the hood did like that, boy, we'd have a safer community. So I give a shout out to you. Go right back to the phone line. WTAM Radio, Sherry, East Lake, talk to me.
Yeah, I wrote to President Obama and Sherrod Brown and George Voinovich.
Yes.
About having a lottery for a national health care plan.
Yes.
And we would all be put on Medicare, because there's 56 million people without health insurance.
Yes.
Did you know that? People can't even get their teeth fixed.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I know. I'm one of them.
Yeah, and Sherrod Brown said it was a good idea, and George Voinovich. And I went on the website to Obama and put in my idea, because if they did this, there's about 366 million to 400 million Social Security numbers. And if 25% of the people played, it would generate, and they charged $2, it would generate a $100 million winner and about $74 million for a national health care plan.
Oh, so you're actually talking about a lottery in which you play and win money?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
And
this is very interesting.
I further said the last Saturday of the month, they could have a drawing for $20 and use that money to pay off the national debts, because what are our politicians doing about the national debts?
All right. Now, don't confuse this too much, because I think you got a plan going here, Sherry. But let's don't get it too broadened.
Yeah.
Let's stick with the plan where you say that we could play a lottery.
Yeah.
And this lottery money would go into the healthcare system to help people that doesn't have insurance.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I like that idea, Sherry.
Mm-hmm.
So how's it going? Are we making any progress with it?
No, George Voinovich said it was a well-thought-out plan, and Sherrod Brown, I don't know what he's doing about it. I wrote to him quite a while ago, and I got a little card from Obama from the White House, and so anyways, I don't know. I'm just going to have. I've been writing the newspapers and everything.
Well, Sherry, you know how bureaucratic things work now. It'll be hard, but if you fight and fight, Sherry, we might see your plan in progress. Okay, Sherry?
Okay, thanks.
God bless you. Johnny B, I love you. Talk to me, Karaoke King. Johnny B, are you there? Did I some kind of way cut Johnny B off by mistake? Johnny B, did I miss you?
Hey, Art, what's up, buddy?
Yes, Johnny B, what's going on?
All right, man. I saw you on the news, man. I thought it was a real good thing. You out there doing what you normally do, out there foot soldier for the cause. I thought it was a terrible thing, man, that happened over there with that Anthony Sowell character, man. What he allegedly did, man, is one of the most horrific things that went down in Cleveland since I can remember. That's
me too.
I think it's history, Art.
Yes, it is history, Johnny B. It's
yeah,
real,
man.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't want the subject to die. A lot of people, I hear say, "Oh man, I'm tired of hearing about that." But man, there's a lot to be learned from this, Art. It's a lot to be learned from it. There's just so many still yet to be answered questions, Art.
Yes, it is, Johnny B.
Yeah, it's just something I just wanted to, just bring up because I just want to enlighten the listeners that, it's still definitely in our hearts and minds, and we just can't let this happen no more, man. No communities, nowhere in the United States of America can let nothing like this go down.
Absolutely, Johnny B. Absolutely. I appreciate your call, Johnny B. 100%, and I agree with you. Sing it. Y'all ain't heard this in a while, have you? Lou Reed. I don't know how my engineer come up with this.
Little Joe never once gave it away. Everybody had to pay and pay.
You can call me at 216.
A hustle here,
578-1100. 216-578-1111. Or toll free 888-723 WTAM Radio 1100. I'm gonna go right down the line. I'm gonna get the ones that's been waiting the longest. You can call me. I got millions of calls, but I'm gonna take them all. WTAM Radio 1100. Tim from Macedonia.
Hey, Art, how you doing?
Fine, Tim. How you doing?
I'm all right. Hey, I think that's a good thing that you're doing for the the Cuyahoga County coroner, Dr. Miller. He's a pretty decent guy. I mean, he's as decent as his predecessor, Elizabeth Balraj, was. I mean, so, he used all what he had to identify those poor lost souls there. And so the families could have some type of closure. So the families should come out and give thanks to the coroner.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We want the whole community to come out.
Yeah. All right, now, Art, let me ask you a question here. I've seen as you know, Obama, the president.
Yes.
Over
President Obama. Come on, say it, get it right.
Well, that's what I said. President Obama, he's over in Asia, and he's doing a long tour of Asian nations over there. But one thing I think Obama doesn't realize, that as the world's most powerful man, he shouldn't bow to anybody. Why did he bow to the Emperor of Japan? I don't understand that. Why would he do that?
Because he's a humble man. It
don't matter how humble he is.
Well,
you don't bow when you're the president of the United States. They bow to you.
Well, it's a humble man it's a sign of respect, Tim.
No. Well, no, you reach out and you press the flesh. You shake hands. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even recommend shaking hands.
Oh, I agree with you on that.
In any Asian country, don't shake anybody's hands. If anything, you
here either, Tim. Right here.
That's
either.
right. Especially, you're right. You don't shake anybody's hand, especially you just give them a polite nod.
Yes.
To let them know you acknowledge them. But twice Obama has bowed to heads of states of other countries, which was very improper to do. Yeah, he didn't bow to the Queen of England, Elizabeth wiping over there. You know, if you're going to bow to anybody, you bow to the Queen of England because, of course, our country came out of England.
Oh.
So there's not a problem with that, but you don't bow to the head of an Asian or an Arab state. You're the president of the United States, the world's most powerful country. You're head of the world's greatest country that God put on the planet, and they bow to you.
Okay, Tim. All right.
Right. Well, you tell that to Obama.
Okay, Tim. I will. Good point, Tim. All right. Tim don't like because of Obama bow, which is all right. WTAM Radio 1100. You can call me at 216-578-1100, 216-578-1111. Elliot, talk to me.
All right.
East
How you
Cleveland.
doing, Art?
Okay.
I like to. You know me. We've been talking quite a bit.
Okay.
Over the time. My kids have been at your shop and have got their hair cut.
Okay.
Art, my statement is this.
Okay.
We was the first person in the United States to elect the first black mayor, you know, and that's Mayor Stokes. Now, through this incident that we had, this bad incident, the world, because I got friends all over the place and they calling me from everywhere, the world know us is what we done. But now, the world going to have to really get on this country because they know good and well there's nowhere in the world that we should have 11 people like this in communities like we have. Like they always talk about our communities because we in regular communities. You know what I'm saying? They call our communities hoods, ghettos, or whatever. But see, now the world is looking at the United States, which is the most famous country in the world. And they say, oh, that can't be. That can't be.
You're speaking of the Imperial Murders?
Right. We're talking about the Imperial Murders.
Okay, all right.
Now everybody is going to get on. Everybody here in every major city that would ever never happen again. You're going to have to change your laws. And we're the first to put that out.
Yeah,
because now everybody going to have to, from the president all to every major city in the United States and every ghetto and every hood and every whatever you want to explain to, however people want to call it, because that's why they didn't react or do nothing, because these was people of lower class that they thought that didn't have nothing that they thought. Now the world see, dang, that's impossible. That's the United States.
Okay.
So now,
okay, Elliot.
Yeah.
I get your point. I get your point. You made it very loud and clear. I got your point. All right? And I would be upset, too. No doubt about it. WTAM Radio 1100. Sid, I got to get you with that poem. I want to get you after the news so you'll have time. Yes, go right ahead.
Hello?
I understood your point, brother. Yes, go right ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You can turn your radio down. I only got 30 seconds for the news. I was trying to get you in.
Well, I'm going to be longer than 30 seconds, Art.
Well, then.
So you can just go ahead and go to the news and put me on hold if you like.
Okay, we're gonna do that then. All right, we're gonna take a break and we're gonna come right back with Cliff Blakely, the greatest newsman in the whole wide world. So we'll be right back. To work right along with Ray David. That's all right. We're gonna go right to Sid. Sid's been wanting to hit us with this poem for a long time. Sid from Oberlin.
Yes, hi Art. How are you?
Fine, Sid. You got something for me?
Yes, I do. I want to honor you with a poem I found, an old poem by a man named Martin Gardner about a barber shop.
Okay, let's hit it. You got millions of listeners.
Here you go. When you visit the barber and sit in his chair, don't squirm like a worm while he's cutting your hair. Don't shiver and quiver and bounce up and down. Don't shuffle and snuffle and act like a clown. Each wiggle will jiggle the blades of the shears. Clip, 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 clip. Those scissors can slip and snip off a tip of one of your tender pink ears. So I thought I'd throw a little poetry at you tonight.
I love it. Sid, can I make a confession with you?
Yeah.
Once upon a time, I was cutting hair about 35 years. Once upon a time, it's very interesting, that poem, and it brings back memories, because once upon a time, I was snipping, and this customer was moving, and his hair got in the way of that little tip on his ear.
Oh.
And I actually snipped that little tip. And I had to hurry up and get some of that. That when
Styptic.
Yeah, Styptic.
Yeah.
And man, I put a whole bunch of it on there and filled in that little corner where I had tipped his little ear off, and he never knew it. But it's very interesting, that poem.
Yeah.
See, sometimes your poem bring back memories.
Yeah.
And that's a good...
well, you gave that little fellow a souvenir.
I sure did, Sid. Sid, Sid, what's happening out in Oberlin?
Well, Oberlin is paradise.
Yes.
And I've lived here all my life for 1 year.
Uh-huh.
And I'm 62 years old, and I hope I live another 62 years, and I'll just stay right here in Oberlin.
Yes.
But I'll be listening to you as long as you're in the radio, because you're the best part of the weekend.
Thank you, Sid. Now, Sid, I have one question. What makes Oberlin paradise?
Well, Oberlin's paradise because it's small.
Yes.
And because it's interesting, a lot of different kinds of folks.
Yes.
So a lot of ideas are going around and around.
Yes.
And the college is here. It's a wonderful college.
Yes.
And I was with my girlfriend tonight. Her name is Sue. And we went out to dinner.
Yes.
And I was telling her, in this little town, there's 20 restaurants. We counted them, 20.
Wow.
Chinese, Italian, Mexican, you name it.
Yes.
So that's what makes Oberlin so great.
Yes. Sid, can I ask you a personal question?
Well, sure.
Now, you know I keep it real now.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 62.
And you got your girlfriend?
She's sitting right here, yeah.
Joe, and I don't want her to hear this. She listening?
Yes, she's listening.
I don't want her to listen.
Okay.
Is she away yet?
She's here.
I don't want her to listen, Sid.
Oh, okay. So she's not listening.
You sure?
Yep, I'm sure.
Sid, do you need any of that Viagra?
I don't know.
You're still on your own?
Yeah.
'Cause I need a little bit once in a while.
Well, if I need something, I know where to go.
Sid, I love you. Okay, and what's your beautiful girl name?
Well, her name is Sue.
Sue, is she there for real?
Yeah, she is.
Let me speak to her.
She's kind of shy.
That's okay.
She's ready.
Sue?
Hey, Art.
How you doing?
I'm real good. How are you?
Good. You sound good, Sue. I just wanted to holler at you. You're there with Sid, and I just appreciate y'all listening. And keep on listening in Oberlin, and have all of Oberlin listen. I appreciate you, okay?
Okay, you too.
Thank you, Sid. Thank you, Sid and Sue.
Bye-bye.
That's good. Sid and Sue.
Bye-bye.
I love it. Bye-bye. Okay. Sid and Sue. Ain't that wonderful? Mark from Brook Park.
Yes, Art. I'd really like to know, what did President Obama do to exactly deserve a Nobel Peace Prize? Could you tell me that?
Yes, I could. You see, in where they give the Nobel Peace Prize, what's the name of that place? Because if I mispronounce it, Bob France and Mike Trevisano, they all what is it? Come on, son. Talk to me.
What place was that?
Where they give the Nobel Peace Prize.
I'm not sure exactly where they give the Nobel Peace Prize.
Come on, Stacy. Where do they?
I know it's a very
there's a name to that place, and if I mispronounce it, I think I know the name. But if I mispronounce it, Mike Trevisano and Bob France, them, they like to critique me, and as valuable as this show is, if I make a terrible mistake, they're gonna critique it all week and laugh at me, and y'all gonna laugh right with them. But anyway, let me tell you this. What happens with that Nobel Peace Prize? See, they got a lot of genius people. They got a lot of intelligent people that scholars from Harvard and Yale and all those places, and they got them from all over the world, even some of those other colleges, Oxford and all that place. So they evaluate who should get that Nobel Peace Prize, and when they evaluate, they know exactly why they're giving a person that Nobel Peace Prize. So they evaluated. Oh, listen, now these men, you're not going to argue with these people because they're smarter than me and you. And they evaluated who should get the Nobel Peace Prize, and they came up with President Obama. Now, we might not like it, but we're not as smart as these people, and we didn't evaluate as they did. So that's my answer to that question.
So you feel we have a great president, Art?
Beg pardon?
You feel that we have a great president right now?
Well, I'm going to tell you what. It's too early to say that he's a great president because he's only been in 9 months. But it's too early to say this. But I'll tell you this. For Obama is the right president for the right time. And what I mean by that is Mark, now you have to admit this. Before Obama took office, this country was really going down the tube. Now you have to admit that this country was really going down the tube. It was going down the tube so bad that suburbanites, young people, and those that wanted to save this country saw that they had to make a drastic change. So they elected Obama. He was the right man for the right time. See, timing and check is everything. He was the right. Listen, no one thought there would be a black president. I didn't think I'd see one in my lifetime, and I'm sure you didn't either. So all of this hit us all by storm. But you know why? Because it was the right time, and timing and check is everything. So yes, for this times that we're in right now, critical times, with the housing, this country is about to go to the tubes. We're in a depression, not recession. We all these things. Yes, I agree that right now President Obama is the right man for this job at this particular time. But it's only been in 9 months now, so we'll see how it goes as time go on. Play that song for a minute. Listen, we're gonna take a break and we'll be right back.
Obama, them say Barack, Obama, Barack, Obama, Barack,
Prisoners, I know you.
On like serial crimes, you know, most serial killers, it's like 96%
Talk to me.
are white. And I'm a white person.
Yes.
Very few black people have serial killings like this. Why this guy did, I have no idea. My daughter studies all this stuff, and she said, this is really weird. But now, what I wanted to know, you know, all these women, they're on drugs. Where did this man get the money to supply these women with drugs to come lure them to his home? Do you have any idea of that?
Yeah, I do, Bill, because Sowell was he was what we call a scrapper, you know, and a scrapper is a person that go in houses and apartments and stuff like that and get scrap metal and scrap, and sometimes scrappers do pretty good, you know. He wasn't no dumb man. So sometimes scrappers do pretty good. Now he got his house, did we ever find out what happened to his mother-in-law?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever found out what happened to his mother-in-law. I'm worried about that.
I thought she was going to be one of the bodies they found.
Yeah, but
I thought they said that she eventually went to some old age home or something, but nobody knows where she is.
Well, you know, that's very interesting. This week I'm gonna make sure that I check up on that and find out exactly where she is. But yeah, and see, another thing you gotta understand, Bill, the area that he was in, it was kind of a close area where the houses are kind of close together. There was, and he had the benefit of his house being real close to a deli, a functioning deli where all the ladies would come and get their cigarettes and their wine and their beer, and then there was another deli across the street. So it was so the area, and his house was like one house from the corner, so he could see all these ladies going in and get their beer and wine and stuff. And so he was right in that in a perfect spot, and he could sit on his porch, you know, and he was just that close where he could actually kind of lure these ladies in with his alcohol and what he did. So if you saw the area, you would see that why this area could be very vulnerable for these ladies.
Well, you know, I just still don't know. It's very rare.
Well, but now on your second point, on your first point, I agree with you 100%. The black community is really we can't believe it. The fact that we would have such a great massive serial killer among us. And it is not a MO of a black person, right. But I tell you something, that Sowell gave us brothers a black eye. He gave us a real black eye, and we are very upset about that because he got the women in our community, the black women and women in general in our community, he got them shaky. And they was already shaky, and we didn't really need this. So he really gave us a black eye, Bill. And that's a very interesting stat that you gave, Bill. I knew it was like that, but I just didn't know the percentage. You say the percentage is what?
It's like 96%.
96%
of serial killers are white.
Yes, and this guy here, he's going to go right at the top of the list with as many people as he killed, because I still think he killed some of those women in East Cleveland, which hasn't been found out yet. But, Bill, thanks for your phone call, and tell your daughter to keep looking up that information, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. My Suburbanites is on the ball. And don't y'all say nothing about my Suburbanites after that Suburbanite came forth and helped me find out who ran the car into my sister store. And by the way, it made me start wondering about this, because I know that across the street, the rubber stamp man, some years ago, a car ran into his building, tore his brick wall down. Down the street, a car ran into that building. So I'm wondering, any of my Suburbanites, do you all have statistics on how many cars run in the building? Because this seems like something that's more common than one would think. Cars crashing in the building. Look, I'm gonna try to take Paul in here. I'm gonna take Paul before the news, and then I'll come right back and get all of you. 216-578-1100, 216-578-1111. I'm trying to get you because I didn't have a chance to talk to you last week, and my callers and my listeners are the most important people in the whole wide world. Paul.
Art.
Paul from Lorraine. Talk to me, Suburbanite.
Art, out of the last 20 years, I've seen you stand by 50 people's gravesite, and it looks to us that you're maybe trying to get photo ops. But black people need real help. The guardian angels get millions of dollars every year to walk old ladies home, white ladies home. Why haven't you wrote a program up for help black people with all this stimulus money? We need real civil rights leaders. Your dreadlocks look nice, but we need some real workers, And I think you should at least try, because it's partially your fault that these women have got in the predicament they're in, because you really have fell off your civil rights job. Thank you.
Paul, let me address that for you, Paul. You bring up some very interesting points, because the work that I've been doing all these years, I don't get paid for. And you know what? That doesn't bother me at all, Paul, even though it would help and I could do more work, but it doesn't bother me at all, because listen, if it was up to me, I would be on a hill in Shaker Heights. So God has ordained me to do this work, and God has also ordained me with sense enough to know that Cliff Bakley is looking at me real hard saying, what are you doing? It's time for the news. So right now we're going to go to Cliff Bakley in the newsroom.
And welcome back to Black on Black Crime with Art McCoy. I'm Stacy. You can call us with your questions or comments at 216-578-1100 or 216-578-1111. Back to you, Art.
Or toll free at 888-723-WTAM. Hey, I know you're listening to me in Mississippi. I know you're listening to me in Atlanta, Georgia. I know you're listening to me in Alaska. Hey, Sarah. How you doing? Come on, baby. I'm going to buy your book. Don't worry about that. Oh, yeah, I'm going to buy your book. I'm going to watch you on Oprah, too. Oh, yes. Or you can call me in New York City, New Jersey, or you can call me in Alabama. What about Arizona? You can call me. Oh, I got the blues tonight, y'all. Forgive me. Forgive me, Pastor Vernon. Oh, my goodness. Forgive me, Pastor Perry. Forgive me, Pastor Cavaniss. Todd Dennison is doing this to me. He used to work at the House of Blues. Ow! Ow! Come on, Ray Davis. I'm all right. You ain't got to call. I'll make it through. Play it! Play that guitar, boy. Listen, one thing I wanted to let you know. Play that guitar. All those women weren't on drugs. Let me make that correction right now. All those women were not on drugs, okay? And we love them all. By the way, one of the great things that's happening right now is that as we begin to bury these ladies, the funeral that's happening, I went to 2 Saturday, and at both of them, the funerals were full. The families were there. The people were there. Oh, we're showing these ladies respect. Maybe they didn't get that respect while they was here, but we're showing it to them now. You might say it's too late, but it makes uplift me to see that these ladies are being put away nice. And I'll tell you who's a great big part of that was the county coroner's office under the leadership of Dr. Miller with their great spokesman, Paul Caesar. Dr. Miller is a very humble man, but when we contacted him, he agreed that he would come on Imperial Avenue this Monday at 7 p.m. We're only going to keep him for a little while. But we, as a community, we want to come together and we want to say thank you, Dr. Miller. Thank you, County Coroner's Office. Thank you, staff. Thank you, Spokesman Paul Caesar, because we think that you all did a good job in bringing closure to these families. We think you did it in a dignified manner. We think you did it in a great scientific manner. We just think the work that you done was great. Now, I know that you all don't want accolades. You say that this is just the work that you do. And we can agree with that. So it's not you. It is us that want to thank you. So if you in the community feel the same way Black on Black and others do, would you please join us tomorrow at 7 p.m.? We're going to be sharp. We're going to be prompt. And we're going to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And then we're going to let them go on back and finish doing the great work that we do. Will you be there? Did you see the Plain Dealer today, the front page of the Plain Dealer? The great memorial wall pictures, the missing. Oh, I just want to thank Black on Black crime member, the twins, man. The twins are something special. Alvin and Calvin. Alvin went up there and erected that wall with his brothers just for the people, because we knew that once we built that wall that they would come and put the pictures of their missing. They would come to put the pictures of their loved ones so it could be chronologized and we could find out more about who the missing were. and it worked out fine. If you haven't saw the Plain Dealer today, you can see the wall of the great work that Alvin did and all that. Now I'm gonna tell you a story here. I'm gonna tell you a story real quick here, and I want you to understand this story, if you don't mind. Would you punch Mary up, please? Thank you. All right, I'm gonna tell you this story. You know, I used to have this dog, and Schnauzer, little Schnauzer, and I loved that Schnauzer, and I had him for years. I had this Schnauzer for years, and so once my Schnauzer, I left my Schnauzer outside the barbershop, and this lady came by and stole my Schnauzer, and I didn't have my Schnauzer no more. Mary, why are you making all that noise?
Sorry, I'm just getting in.
All right, you're live on the radio.
Hey, what's up?
All right, hold on. Just be quiet. You're making too much noise. Yes, this is radio. This is WTAM radio, the big one. We pick up all sound. You're probably twittering or something, weren't you? And texting. Yeah. I know you. So anyway. So, to go on to tell this story, so I didn't want no more dogs, but Miss Skittles, Mary, Daddy, I want this dog, I saw this beautiful dog, and I want it, I said, look, Mary, you don't need a dog, you're in college, and so you can't keep the dog, cause who gonna keep it? You understand? I say, why you going to college? Oh, I'm gonna take it to college with me. You can't take no dog to college with you. You're gonna wind up, I'm gonna be the one that have to wind up keeping the dog. So, WTM listeners, so that's what happened. She goes off to college, and I wound up babysitting the dog. And so now, okay, so all right, so I take the responsibility, being soft, you understand, going on, helping her get the dog. And all right, so last weekend I'm getting ready for the show, because I know Todd Dennis, my great engineer, on the boards, the man with me. Miss Twitter, you're making that noise again. Stop texting on the line. Be quiet. And while I tell this story. And so I'm getting ready to get ready to go to the radio station. So now the dog, oh, by the way, is a real light brown, beige, almost blonde dog, and she calls him Juicy. So now I'm gonna take Juicy out, so he don't mess up the house. I'm gonna take him out in the front yard real quick, before I get ready to go to the radio station. So I'm standing there he's on the yard, and all of a sudden this white cat came up and want to mess with him and ball himself up. You know how cats do, make themselves look like they're bigger than they are. And Juicy look at him, and Juicy growling back at him. So I'm watching this. Now Juicy know from training not to go across the other side of the street. But this cat made Juicy so mad that Juicy ran across on the other side of the street, and the cat ran up the tree or something. And so Juicy's on the other side of the street. So I gotta get ready to go to the radio station. I'm running late already. So now Juicy's on the other side of the street, and I see these cars coming by. I see one car coming, it turned. I said, oh wow, okay. But I see this other car coming, and it's coming real fast. And so I say, Juicy, stay on the other side of the street. You know, so gave my command, held my hand up. So Juicy listened. But then as this car come closer and closer and closer and closer, and the car was going pretty fast, all of a sudden, Juicy want to run across the street where I am at right when the car is coming. And so all of a sudden, I can't see, the car passes, I can't see Juicy, and when the car passed, all of a sudden, I see this little dog laying out in the middle of the street, shaking and shaking. I said, oh, Lord, my daughter's dog is dead. Juicy is dead. I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going to have to go to the pet store and buy another little dog that looked like Juicy. And when she comes home from college, have the dog up there for her to see. So my friend ran out and said, all right, we got to go to the radio station. We run late. I said, Juicy got hit by a car. So we ran in the middle of the street, and Juicy was laying, knocked out in the car. Oh Lord, we done killed my daughter's dog. We picked the dog up, take it in the house. Now I'm running real late for the radio station now. I picked the dog up. The dog began to shake just a little bit, like he coming through. Then he came through a little bit. So now I really got to go to the radio station now. So I laid the dog in the middle of the floor, and I went on to do the show, shook up as heck. But when I came back, thank God the dog was up, running, alive and well. And I said, oh my goodness. I'm still mad because I said, I didn't want no dog in the first place. Now here I am babysitting. I almost killed my daughter's dog almost got killed and she would have never forgave me. So Mary, Miss Skittles, when you gonna come get this dog?
Now, you love Juicy. He is the most special dog ever. I love my dog. I happen to be studying in New York and on tour and doing all that stuff. But Thanksgiving, I am going to come get him and bring him to New York with me for 3 weeks. And then we'll be back in Cleveland. So you'll have a break for 3 weeks so you won't kill my dog. And any dog lovers out there, call in because it's a very sentimental thing. And my dad called me and told me that my dog was hit, and I was so devastated. I tweeted about it all night. That is like my baby. It's like my son. If any dog lovers, if you love your dog, call in and then explain to him how it is.
So Miss Skittles.
Yes.
What's going on in New York? Talk to me real quick. We got about 3 minutes only. I got 100,000 calls on the line.
Wow, New York is crazy. There's new things going on every single day. I can't wait for the Thanksgiving parade. I work at a style at a new store called Top Shop. It's the only store in the UK. It's the only store in America. It's out of the UK. I style for certain artists by Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, Miley Cyrus, Tiana Taylor. I styled all of them. They all come into my store. And so I'm definitely doing my fashion thing in New York to 100%. Music is always on my mind. I'm actually shooting my video on Wednesday in front of Madison Square Garden in the middle of Times Square. So New York is crazy. But Cleveland, I'm coming home Tuesday, November 24th. So if you any bookings, features, or anything like that, hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, all of that. New York is crazy. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be glad to see you home, baby. Okay?
Okay.
And come on home and get that dog. I'm tired of it. All right. Listen, we're going to take a right back. And Joe, James, Dick, Carlisle, Mike Polensik. I got to get Mike Polensik on the line. We taking a break? I can get Mike. We'll take a break. I'll come right back and get Mike Polensik. But I'm very serious. I can't wait to get you back into the studios so I can really do you a job. But right now, I'm very serious about this, Mike Polensik. How you doing?
Good. You need to get me back on it so I can boost your rating.
I'm going to get you back on because you did boost my rating. You were very good. Listen, I have to give credit where it was due. You were very good. You caused me a lot of pain. It was very good. Now, look, Mike, this is a very serious thing I'm talking to you about right now. Listen, Mike, you keep saying this, and probably I will be in your ward this week. There's a very good possibility.
Okay.
But you keep saying this, but what you're saying really don't make sense to me.
What's that?
You keep saying that the Lakeshore Boys gang. You keep saying that. Now, this young man was killed, and they say that the Lakeshore Boys was playing the Lakeshore rap gang song on the radio.
Yep.
And you've been talking about this Lakeshore gang boys for quite a while. Now, my problem is this, Mike Polensik.
Yep.
If the Lakeshore gang boys really exist, is it possible for me to come in that neighborhood and see them?
The Lakeshore Boys.
Or are they invisible?
No, the Lakeshore Boys really exist. They are a violent bunch of nothing but thugs, drug dealers, and people that are either going to the cemetery or going to prison. I know of 5 people, 5 homicides that they've been linked to over the last years, and this most recent homicide of a good young man who was going to school, trying to get an education, to succeed in life. And I got to tell you, Art, there's a real personal side of this for me personally. Brandon's brother, Shaquille, goes to school with my son, Andrew. They take the same bus to school, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I know the young man's family. I know the fact that these young men were not involved in any questionable activity, and they were both of them were shot, and in the case of Brandon was gunned down for no reason.
Yeah.
And we as a community have got to send a message to people who want to gun down young black men on the street who are trying to get an education that it's unacceptable, and we will not tolerate that.
I agree.
We will not, and we will do everything we can to hunt them down and bring them to justice, because Brandon deserves justice. He didn't deserve to go this way. His family is grief stricken, to say the least. I can't even begin, as I sat in their living room with the mother and father, I can't even begin to understand what they're experiencing as no other parent could, unless you're in that same circumstance. But we as a society, we as a community, have got to say, whether it be the Lakeshore Gang, the Lakeshore Boys, the 7-Alls, the 4 Block, I don't care, all these idiots that are running all over the city. And you know what? You have no future. You think you're tough because you think you're a man because you carry a gun? That don't make you a man. It don't make you somebody because you can intimidate women or you can shoot at children. It don't make you nothing. They're nothing. They will be nothing. And that's a message we got to send. If you want to be involved in gangs, you have no future. You have no future. I don't see any of these guys getting rich. I don't see any of them on MTV or on BET. They are going nowhere. And when I stood on that vigil last night on Friday evening and looked up at the sky and at the stars, I said to myself, with how many times I've walked down that same street as a kid myself, say, Dear Lord, help us reason with these young men who believe that violence is the cure-all. Violence is the way to get ahead in this world. It isn't, and I'm tired of seeing young black men being gunned down for no reason.
Mike, we have a lot to talk about, but I'm not gonna say any more right now. I'm going to let you have the last word. That's your ward. You have a personal relationship with that young man and that family. We will be talking about. I will call you. We will be talking about this.
Well, I thank you, Art, because I'm telling you, we cannot live like this in our city, where young men have to be afraid to walk the streets. We need to be patting on the back and giving accolades to every young man and every young woman who's trying to get ahead in this society, trying to get an education. And for young black men to be targeted because they're trying to get an education, something is terribly wrong in this city and in this country. I will not accept that.
I will give you a call. I'm out of time. We'll talk about it much more deeper in the very near future. I'll give you a call, okay?
Thank you.
Turn it up. Listen, Dick from Dayton. Call out from Nebraska. You wanted to talk about illegal Mexican. I would have loved to talk to you. Joe from Cleveland, you disagree with Stop Snitching. I'd have loved to talk to you, man. Oh, I got at least 50 people on the line right now waiting to talk to me, but I can't talk to you because we don't have time. Cliff Bakley, the greatest newsman of all time, is in the newsroom. And I did want to go out on a happy note because I beat Carmen Angelo. I set him up. I set that suburbanite up. I let him win the first game. You know how you do when you play pool and you know you're better than the next man. Oh, I can't even talk about it. Here's Cliff Bakley in the newsroom.
Swung on and belted to deep right center field. This ball is gone. A walk-off 3-run home run to right center by
Art McCoy,
President and CEO of Cleveland, Ohio, none other than the Reverend Dr. E. Theophilus Cavanis.
Reverend Cavanis, are you there?
My brother, how are you?
I am fine, sir. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Good.
Reverend Cavanis, I just want you to know that every time I see you, I need to see you more often, because every time I see you, you just make me so proud, and you just make me so glad that I know a great pastor, a great man like you. And you just make me so happy. So, Pastor, what is going on? Update me.
Well, Art, you're talking about how proud you are. Well, let me just tell you how proud I am of you, because you are indeed a warrior. You've never deviated from the fight. You've stood strong. You've done focus. You've been focused. You've been resolute in your efforts to make sure that the least of our brothers and sisters, the left out, the lost, the left behind, are accommodated. And so let me commend you for a fight well done. You've done it well, and you've done it vociferously, and we certainly want to thank God for you and your struggle and your fight. So we stand with you. I just think this is a moment of somber reflection on where we are and what we need to do in order to save this generation. We are almost hurt beyond despair with this situation having transpired in our community. These young women have been victimized by a vicious and horrific crime that has been perpetrated against them. And so at this propitious time, we need to reflect, we need to pray mightily, and we need to reach out and understand where we are so that we will not allow anything as horrific to transpire again. Somewhere we've got to touch these young people who are struggling with all kinds of addictions, struggling with economic problems and the things that have affected all of us. I was just saying today, we have about 1,200 vacant houses and 700 foreclosures in our immediate Glenville neighborhood. Something has to be done about that. People are in despair. So not only must we pray mightily, but we must reach down into the silent recesses of our soul and grab something that will reclaim these young folks and reclaim the victory as we must have in order to stay alive.
Oh, sir, what a message! Now, sir, I know what church you belong to, but for the millions of people that listen, tell us where you are.
Well, we're at Great Abyssinia Baptist Church at the corner of East 105th and Tacoma Avenue, right in the middle of a terrific struggle. We have young people who are grappling with drug addictions and the like, and we're standing there. Many churches have left the inner city. Many have pulled out in order for safer ground. But I think that the struggle begins and ends right where we have young people who are in need. So we are committed to staying on that corner, and whatever it takes in order to be there as a beacon light that when a child begins to look up and sees that light, we want to be there to help them out. We want them to know wherever they are, you can come down church 24/7. We don't close the doors. We don't lock doors. We have it open. So, and there's nothing that is too sacred that we cannot give away to people. We have the food pantry there. We make sure that people are well fed. We have persons who commit themselves to assisting people. We have counseling. We have a GLAD program where young people learn to read and write and to understand how important education is. We have all kinds of efforts there, and we want to make sure that we propagate that around in the neighborhood, that we are there for them. I've been there for 48 years, nearly a half century, and I'm still trying to stand strong. I don't do much leadership. I try to make sure that the young folk have an opportunity. Whenever I stand, I feel that there's a young person that's not standing. So I really want to be there to provide wisdom, to provide direction, and to provide calm and community to people who might have lost their way. So that's where we are, Art, and we're in the midst of a fight, and we're going to stay right there and fight.
Reverend, tell us about the SCLC.
The Southern Christian Leadership Conference is compassionate. It's there. We are Martin Luther King's arms and legs and feet and heart in our neighborhood. Martin had a basic love for Cleveland. I talked to him one night for an hour at the Sahara Motel downtown after he had done a rally, and he had walked 105th Street off the Selma March. And as I talked to him about an hour down at the Sahara Hotel, he said that I love Cleveland because Cleveland has so many ex-Alabamians. And so he said, my roots are in Alabama and Georgia, and he said, so I love Cleveland because there's so many people there. And we, nearly 40 years ago, stood up and celebrated him, assisted him. 37 years later, his son came in. We lifted him up. Now that the new president of SCLC is Bernice King of Atlanta, Georgia, and we're going to be bringing her here in a few months. She's going to be coming in here to speak. So we have that continuing legacy of Martin Luther King's compassion and concern for young people, compassion and concern for neighborhoods, and trying to make sure that our people understand how important it is for us to stand up and help those who are left out, and I say left behind, lost, and the like.
I understand that you've stepped back a little bit from and let the young people take charge. So, Reverend Kevin, does that mean also that you've lost your voice? You can't sing like you used to? Because I know you used to be one of the singing preachers that I know. You lost your voice a little bit?
I have lost that. I try to stay focused and try to do that. But it's just a matter of, the basic philosophy of my life is to know when to hold them and when to fold them. You can't go on forever, but you have to make sure that you implant whatever kind of sensibility, whatever kind of direction, whatever kind of wisdom, you plant that in a person, and that's how you live on. You can only take to heaven what you give away and what you implant in young people. So my focus is to make absolutely sure that young folk understand that these are tough times, but when tough times come, the tough get tougher, and that's what you have to do. You face all kinds of odds, and in Christ you can succeed.
Great Reverend Cavanis, this is Silver B.
Yes, sir, my main man. What's going on, Silver B?
You know your voice is something that the community needs. And you can stand back and let other people stand up because that's what you do. But could you give us a song on the radio?
Well, I guess what I'd have to do is to tell you, one day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Give me the strength to do everything I have to do. Yesterday is gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Reverend Cavanis. Give me a round of applause, y'all, in the studio.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Cavanis. We love you.
In the mix.
We love you.
Thank you, Reverend.
And I'll be talking to you soon, okay?
All right, then.
God bless you.
God bless you.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to a special edition of Black on Black Crime with Art McCoy on Imperial Avenue. Black Crime with Art McCoy, as you know, as not only in Cleveland, Ohio, and all around Ohio, but all across the country, even overseas. They're talking about what happened in Cleveland on Imperial Avenue. And I'll tell you the truth about it. In my personal opinion, I think that this crime is still far-reaching, because I'll tell you something. We have claimed that some time ago that we truly believe that there is and was a serial killer in East Cleveland, Ohio, because there were several young ladies. There was a young lady two young ladies that got strangled in the motels. There was a young lady that got strangled behind a store on Alcor. There was a young lady that got strangled on a street behind Page, and for some time we've been claiming, we've put the claim that we really thought there was a serial killer in East Cleveland, because all these young ladies came up strangled. And just so ironic, that Mr. Sowell lived on Page Avenue in East Cleveland, and we're just wondering did his mighty hand reach all the way in East Cleveland. So we definitely think there needs to be an investigation that follows in that area. And if it's not Mr. Sowell, then we still proclaim that there's a serial killer right there in East Cleveland. If you don't believe it, check the record and you'll find out that at least 5 or 6 women have been strangled to death right there in East Cleveland. Look, let's keep it real. While they're investigating, let's find out what's happening to our women, not only in East Cleveland, for all over. And also, we also proclaim that on the west side, West 25th, in that area where Gina DeJesus, Amanda Berry, came up missing, 2 streets apart, vanished from thin air, and a couple more young ladies over there. We again think that there is a serial person that's doing this. And we've said this to the FBI and to the police department for quite some time. So now that is out, let us challenge these authorities to go back and look at all these cases and find out what's happening. Go ahead, Judy.
Art, remember the young ladies in East Cleveland, some were killed before Sowell went into prison, and we've lost some after he came out. Yeah. And it's ironic that the similarities are there, and why the investigations didn't go deeper at the time we lost those women.
Well,
also, you want to let you know that Sowell lived on Forest Hill Boulevard, too. Because there's a young lady who used to live in the basement. She lived in the basement of the apartment buildings on the left-hand side. If you go up Forest from Euclid Avenue, he used to live there also.
Right, and we need to look at all these places, because even if he says he didn't have a car, there's buses, there's friends. That he didn't stay in one spot. He was all over the place, and he's all over the country too, in his service. Where else do we have to look? How did he stay under the radar? What were we missing?
One thing I like to say, and I'll say it again, and Art knows, I've been a drug and alcohol counselor for years, and we have to make sure, young ladies, I tell this when they're growing up, last 30 years plus, drinking and hanging out is problems. They're problems. Definitely. They are problems. They're definitely problems. Because any male that's looking for you, that's the debate.
I can attest to that.
And remember, people are drinking to feel normal. So there's a lot of mental illnesses in our community that people do not address. And when people use to feel normal, you never catch the mental illnesses. And I've been a counselor for over 30 years. I know what I'm talking about.
So that's one of the ways it was missed.
Yes. Now, Debbie, introduce yourself. You're here with representing Folsom, the young lady that was found missing. And I know that you've got a lot on your mind. Don't hold back. Listen, this is the big one, WTAM Radio 1100. We don't pull no punches. We keep it real. What's on your heart, dear?
I'm happy today, and I'm sad. We just found the young lady that was at the Vision that was on the paper for missing, and she's been alive. So I'm really happy right now. I'm still sad on one occasion, but to all the other young ladies and the families, I really am sorry for the loss, but I'm praying for everybody. But just because we have gotten our identification of our relative, that doesn't stop me from going and talking, trying to get them to identify the rest of the peoples and their relative. I will be trying to work with Mr. McCoy and other community workers on this. I think this is something I would like to do. To the officials of Cleveland, I really appreciate it. Everybody in the city of Cleveland has been really very nice to the Fortson family. I'm just really thankful right now for that.
All right, okay. Now, you said you were a little angry. I'm not going to let you get off that hook that easy, because when you got something in your heart that you really want to say and you're not saying it, that's not what Black on Black Crime and Art McCoy is all about. So say what you're on, arrested on, what's on your mind.
Miss Fortson is a resident of East Cleveland. I've been there over 30 years, so I know she's been there at least about 25 or 30 herself. And I know this has been all over the TV, all over the news, all over the world. And it's kind of embarrassing to me that nobody from the city of East Cleveland even called and said, you got my condolences, can we come and pray? That includes the churches too. No ministers from East Cleveland has called, no mayor, no elected officials. I called and left word on one of the councilmen, and then they did return my call, and then they called Ms. Forson. But I'm quite sure everybody knew it. So I think if this had been election day, I wouldn't have voted for nobody in East Cleveland. I wouldn't have voted for nobody.
I hear you what you're saying, sister. But on the same token, you got that out. But really, right now, you're at peace because the sister has been found. Ms. Folsom can be laid to rest properly. Right. And we found a young sister, and she's right in the studio.
And she's from East Cleveland.
And she's from
East Cleveland.
And we found her tonight.
Yes.
Oh, what a blessing that is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I got my beautiful hug.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Look, you can call me at 216-578-1100, 216-578-1111. I still got, my phone lines are still full. I'm going to go right to the phone lines. WTAM Radio 1100, you're in there. WTM Radio, you're in there. WTM Radio, you're in there.
Yeah, Art, this is G-Man. Hey, how you doing there, brother?
All right, sir. How you doing?
Oh, I'm just troubled by this, my brother. I mean, this is just these are beautiful people of our community. These are precious individuals. Not one of them undervalued less than anyone else.
Yes.
Every one of these people is a gem that was stolen from us by an evil, evil man that was inspired by the devil. There's no other way to put it but that.
Yes. Yes, sir.
I think we all know that.
Yes.
But the thing is we cannot let the accountability of the police department, you can't let them off the hook because they have to get out and look for these people. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, what your circumstances are. They have to take it seriously. But then on the other hand, the people reporting them can't discount it either. Maybe they done it before. Maybe they was gone for a weekend, came back. They have to keep after it. They have to take into account for their people too. Don't let up. Scream as loud as you can. Keep after it. Search. They say after 48 hours that most of the leads are gone, So you got to get after these people immediately and keep pounding on the doors and, doing whatever you have to do. You know what I'm saying?
I would like that.
Are you there, Art?
Yes, I'm here. Judy Martin wanted to say something. Jump in, Judy.
No, I just wanted to offer to anybody who has trouble because of transportation or whatever, getting to the coroner's office to offer their DNA. If they don't want to go alone, to call Black on Black Crime. Call 990-0679. We will find a way for you to go and to turn in your DNA, and you won't be alone.
Bless you, Miss Judy, for offering to help and being there for these people.
Hey, thank you, G-Man. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. You can call me at 216-578-1100. 216. Thank you, sir. 216-578-1111. We'll be right back. No matter how far you fall. We called for the police to do a little bit more work in that neighborhood as far as searching, and they did. And so it's through people power, through a big station like WTM Radio 1100 and you all, that we really made a difference. Now, there was some, you want to say something, Judy?
Yeah, that's why we need you out tomorrow night at 7, because it's not time to slow down. We have to keep the pressure up. We need everybody out there again tomorrow, marching with the families, asking for continued efforts by the police, by all of law enforcement, by the city, by the county, by the federal government, and by our community.
Because I'll tell you something right now, and I make no bones about it. We have some tremendous problems in this area. It's a great city. It's a great place to live, but we have some tremendous problems in the city when it comes to homicides and unsolved murders. And that's why I'd love for the people to come out tomorrow, those that have loved ones that's been killed and those murders are still unsolved. This is a big problem in our city. And so if they could come out also and accent their situations, along with coming out and getting your yellow ribbon, or putting your yellow ribbon on your pole to show where your loved one was killed and that is unsolved, we would really appreciate it. My lines have been full all evening. We're going to go right back to them. WTAM Radio 1100. Kenyatta.
Hey, what's going on?
Cleveland Heights, talk to me.
Yeah, I want to make a comment. Zachary Reed. Now, I tried to fellowship with him years ago, and he seems pompous, arrogant. You know, he wouldn't fellowship with me, and I'm saying that's a reflection of his ward. This happened in his ward, and he's so arrogant. His nose is so up in the air, he can't even smell the dead bodies below. So I'm saying this is a situation of a violation of one of the commandments, thou shalt love thy neighbor. A lot of people don't realize, like I was telling the brother in the streets, when you violate a commandment, then something usually bad happens. And those neighbors wasn't, until right now, those neighbors wasn't together like they supposed to. They were supposed to speak to each other. They were supposed to set a block, watch, and what that is a lesson for all of us to be more communicate with our neighbors more, to prevent this from happening. The only one who was very communicative, the only one who was communicate was the devil, which was the guy Sowell. He was the devil. That was the only one that was neighborly and having parties and stuff like that. So it's a lesson, you know, that a stranger, your neighbor is not your stranger, and to prevent this from happening again. But Zachary Reed, you know, that's why he always get in trouble. He's a very arrogant type of person.
Thank you,
and I hope he changes his ways.
Thank you, Kenyatta, for your phone call. Now, I'd like to throw a little twist into this situation, and I'd like to ask you. I'd like to ask my panel a question. Do you think that do you think that race played a part in this? Do you think that these women went missing so long and the situation got out of hand more and more because they were black women? Do you think that this played a part? Do you think that if these had been suburbanites that was missing like this, do you think there would have been a bigger effort to find them, or do you think that it was just the way it was?
I believe it had a lot to do with it, because if it was in a suburb, a smaller suburb, one police department, one district, one office of officers would have known about all these women missing. That's why we need the centralized missing person department, so that these reports can be collated. And unfortunately, I do believe that some people equate being poor or having problems with not being worth looking for as fast, especially when you're an adult, and that's wrong.
I think it's a system that needs to be fixed. And one of the things about it, being with Congressman Stokes and being a listener of great people in the history, judicial systems, there's a certain standard operating procedures we just have to follow. A lot of the laws are on the books, but who's overseeing those who are supposed to be working on the books the way it should be? What is going on? It's about accountability, supervision, the whole 9 yards. So investigation is always good, because that keeps people on their P's and Q's, like an auditing system. So I think the system, based on the county system, and we see what happened to that, based on the federal system, the state system, the city system, the systems need to be revamped, relooked at, and recharged.
And we hope that when Sheriff Reed, if he creates this missing person unit, we need to come in and work with you. We need to set the ground rules right in the beginning.
It's not even that either. It's not when he puts together, you're going to be part of that team, because he's down with that. You know what I'm hearing? I heard him speak. So just get involved. Say, I want to offer my services and input. Put yourself on the table and start to eat.
We all do.
What I find pretty interesting is when you do call certain city offices, it's a lot of red tape. And I don't want to shift the blame towards anyone. What I like is what we're doing right now is moving forward. Systemically, there have been so many things going on in our community when we start placing blame. And it's just a great justice when we have black-on-black crime. No matter if you're east, south, north, or west, there they are. So thank goodness for the watch team that we have, people that are focused and know what to do when something like this tragically happens. We were so grateful to have that board up so fast, we never would have known who was missing or who to look for, or how they look. But it was a great instantaneous thing that you did in such a short notice.
Oh, thank you so much. Now we're going to go. All my phone lines are filled. Again, this is a special edition of Black on Black Crime with Art McCoy. We just thank WTAM Radio, the big one, for giving us this extra time to talk about this situation. We're going to go straight to Fast Talk. Please call us. I know you've been waiting a long time, so please, I'll give you a minute, get your point out real quick, and I'm going to go to my next line, okay? WTAM Radio 1100, Joe from Cleveland.
Hey, how you doing, Art?
Yes, sir. Talk to me, Joe.
Yeah, you know what? I was just listening on the way home here, and I sympathies to all the families and everything, and you did what I was hoping you weren't going to do, and that was throw out, you know, the race card with the police and everything, and I really don't think, you know, I know the one caller or the lady you have there said, yeah, in the suburbs it would be different, but yeah, it's not the suburbs, and it's not a big city. You know, I don't think that has anything to do with it, and I just hope that the black community doesn't go that route, and when you have leaders like yourself stirring the pot and, you know, just even bringing that up, I think that's where we get a lot of the problems between the community and the police and things like that. I mean, I think a leader like you should just nip that right now and just say, you know what, it's, you know, this was a black person that did this to black women. You know, how in the world can you sit here and blame the police? I don't understand. And again, I mean, if that's the way you feel, that's fine. But I think what that does to the community, there's, you know, then it brings hatred towards the police. And again, you know, for a city as big as Cleveland, and I would imagine how many calls they get about missing people every single day. You know, to sit there and blame them. I just think, you know, I just think I disagree with that point. I'm agreeing with a lot of what you're saying, and you know, I understand all that. But just when you said that, I was hoping you weren't going to go there.
I said that, and I believe it's the policies and procedures that are wrong, and the attitude towards a missing adult.
Right,
we need to change policy,
if
procedures, and attitudes.
Right.
In the suburbs, they put out pictures right away. In the suburbs, they mount search teams. In the suburbs, they use the media right away, and we don't do that very often in Cleveland. And we need to change the policies and procedures. We need the pictures of our missing people shown.
Right. I just think it's unfair to compare the city with a suburb. I mean, first of all, a suburb might get, one missing person a year or something like that. And, you know, in Cleveland, you might get a report, you know, reports every day. Yes.
Joe, thank you for your phone call. Brother, you bring up some very interesting points, and really, truly, I respect you because your points are to the point on what you're talking about. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
I got 20 calls I got to get in 5 minutes, and then we got to close out the show. But remember, tomorrow at 7 o'clock, if you have cold case pictures, if your loved ones have been murdered and the murders are unsolved, or you have a loved one that's murdered, come on out. Listen, while we have an opportunity, listen, we have to let the city know, because the city, you know, the city has their job, and our mayor, great mayor, has his job. And what they want to do is they always like to do damage control. And there's nothing wrong with that. If I was in their position, I would do damage control too. But I'll tell you right now, while we have the bull by the horn and by these tragedies happen, it's time for us to let the officials know just where we're coming from and just how bad this problem is. And so that's why we encourage you all to come out, bring your pictures of your loved ones, bring whatever you have out. We won't keep you long, but we will be there at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Remember, we started this whole ball to rolling. We started this whole momentum to rolling when I announced last week on WTAM Radio 1100 that we were going to be there. You all came out by the hundreds. You all came out by the thousands. Yes, ma'am.
Pictures of missing persons and pictures of your murdered loved ones with unsolved cases.
Thank you so much. WTM Radio 1100. You got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Hey, Art.
Yes, talk to me.
Avery, how you doing?
Talk, Avery.
I got you talked about the missing children. Remember we did the caravan years ago when we went all looking?
Yes, yes, the caravan, yes.
Remember that? I like to say, hey, Civil B, how you doing?
Yes, you're in the mix. I like the Avery factor.
Okay, and the other guest. Okay, but I just want to read some real quick, Art.
Yes.
Mayor and the police chief of Cleveland have the blood of those women on their hands. And we as a community and the victims of all crimes should stand for all the victims, for each and every one of those victims. We need to stand together and make sure that something is done about this, judging people because they're in drug situations and whatever. Everybody has a right to be protected under the law. And we have not been getting our fair share. And I like to say everybody needs to show up tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Victims of all crimes need to come there. And we need to unite.
Thank you, James. Thank you so much.
See you tomorrow.
All right.
Bye-bye.
WTM Radio 1100. You got 30 seconds.
Okay, listen, I'd like to add this. This is a huge travesty and a giant miscarriage of justice. And to your caller that just spoke on the phone, Joe, who was not wanting you to bring up the race factor, this is exactly and entirely about race. And another thing, we need to hold the police force accountable, just like James Avery just said. What I think needs to happen, I think the police chief should actually resign behind this because the entire force is under his command. And if this happened once, they totally ignored the fact that these women were missing. You had a police officer who went to the house after the woman jumped out of the window and fell, and he smelled that stench. A police officer should recognize a dead body or the smell of a dead body more so than anybody else, and he ignored it. So this is a huge travesty and a giant miscarriage of justice, and I do think that they need to be held accountable.
Thank you for your phone call. WTM Radio 1100.
How are you, Art?
Yes, go right ahead, Alex.
Very upset that you are bringing race into this. When the truth is that the community is to blame for this. I mean,
go ahead.
Look at the black community lets all this stuff go on, and no one ever even bothers to mention the fact that there are no men in any of the households. I bet you this guy probably grew up in a fatherless household, and nobody even talks about that. They talk about the police and the politicians and all that stuff. Why is no one ever talking about the lack of fatherhood and the rampant drug use? I mean, you know about that, Art. You used to be on drugs. I mean, you know about that. And why don't you talk about that, Art? I'm asking you. Why don't you talk about it?
Alex, your point is well taken. If I had time to talk about it tonight, I would, but I will talk about it to you at another time. Believe me, I sure will. WTM Radio 1100. This is Fast Talk. WTM Radio 1100.
Hello, this is Mrs. Farmer from Althorpe Towers.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you doing?
Okay, talk to me.
I wanted to give send condolence from our tenants to the Folsom family and to all the ones that had lost their loved ones. And we praying for you, and we want God to be with them. We want God to be with them, and we thank God for you and for you looking out for us. And I just say for us, we're going to have to start sticking together. What I'm watching, I have 2 daughters and a son. My son did 20 years in the service, but all of them are grown. But we're going to have to start sticking with our young people and doing more talking and praying with them and working with them and try to look out for each other in the neighborhood. In the buildings, the high-rises, I mean, all over the city. Let's start praying and looking out for our neighbors. Be our neighbor's keeper. Don't be hateful toward one another. Learn to love one another and stick with one another. Look out for, because I was raised down south in Alabama.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
My mother's neighbors used to whoop our behind, and they'd send us home. We get another whooping. So, but things have changed so desperately over the years. But we're going to have to start looking out for one another's children and
Yes,
one
ma'am.
another's neighbors. And
yes.
I just want God to be with y'all, and I'll be praying for you.
Yes, ma'am. God bless you. WTM Radio 1100. Paul, you're there.
Yeah, I just like to say it's not a race thing. We're just mad that people don't take our concerns seriously. If a house or a neighborhood was smelling bad as that out in Rockside, they'd have had the Air Force in town to see what was going on. And it's not race. We just want our concerns to be taken seriously when we ask that you investigate. That's all we're asking. Thank you.
Thank you for your phone call. from my great panel here, Silver B. What's up? Talk to me.
All I can say is right now, let's pray, let's pray, let's pray. Also, let's be thinkers and doers. And remember, to say no to drugs and alcohol out there in the community.